Hello, everyone. It's Tabatha Fro, aka Braid Girl.
Hey y'all, come on, Braids, and your girl Britt Britt one more time in the room. How we doing?
Today, Britt, you
Mm-hmm.
know that we usually start off with a scripture. We're gonna
Sure.
use the same scripture, and I'm gonna throw one more in, and we're just gonna show it on the flip side. And it's more talking about guard your heart.
Mm-hmm.
This will be an interesting show because the only time I have ever talked in the public, i.e., when I say public, I'm talking about like on the internet or where have you, has only been on my channel, Brit.
Mm-hmm.
My channel, T Has Fun. That's the only time I've ever talked about Christy during my cooking videos or when she first passed away, and I didn't even know if I had the strength to just do another video again and
Mm-hmm.
just pulling myself up because I could hear her voice saying, "If you don't do them videos, I don't talk to you into making this channel." So I pulled it all back together, and here I am. And Britt and I also got together and decided we want to spread positivity and also help the world if we can. So this
Mm-hmm.
episode is going to be
Christy J.
Christy
Wingfield,
Wingfield. Uh huh.
or Miss
Christy
Chris if
J.
you're nasty.
Wingfield. Or Miss Chris if you nasty. So this is an introduction to my baby. We got two of her other good friends. Britt used to live with her. We're gonna bring
Mm-hmm.
in Yamani and we're gonna bring in Leslie.
Yes.
Leslie, you go first since you probably have known Christy the longest time. You almost like my child. Me and your mama
Mm-hmm.
share you.
Right. So I'm Leslie.
We want your whole face, Leslie.
Can you see my whole
Yeah,
face?
not
I
too
want a
close.
body.
A little
Okay.
bit more. There we go.
Okay.
Yes. Okay.
Okay. So I'm Leslie. I've been knowing Christy for over 20 plus years. Um, known each other since fourth grade and up. We have fought together. Literally fought other people together, not each other.
Yes.
Um, anything you can name, we probably have gotten in trouble or I've known about it first and try to
Mm-hmm.
talk her out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm usually like the problem solver. Don't do that, but then I wind up having to
Participant
assist.
doing that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So that's me.
And Yamani. Oh, okay. Yamani. I think Yamani, you probably got the same story.
Well, yeah, yeah, yeah. We met in eighth grade at Columbia High School. I don't know. I mean, like, I don't know how to sum up our friendship beyond the trouble we got into, which wasn't a lot. Admittedly, it wasn't a lot. I don't think so, anyway. And the understanding that we had between the two of us, because it's hard to always find someone who allows you to be who you really are. And we had that relationship where we could be who we really were, and she would listen to the BS for a minute, and then it would be like, now you know you did. That's wrong, right? You could just take that honest feedback.
Mhm.
She was definitely gonna let you get through your feelings and be like, you're wrong. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know how to sum up all of those years in just a few brief sentences.
Okay, Britt, as a person who literally lived with Christy, I can't even imagine the kind. Oh, I can't imagine because y'all called me over one time. I can't even
Uh-huh.
imagine the kind of escapades y'all went through in living in the house together. So let's hear it.
Mhm. We had a good time. It was the funny thing is I had an apartment in Sandy Springs. Quick story at the time, and she was living over, in Thomasville, and she was like, Britt, she's like, you think we should just roommate? She said, you got your apartment. I know you don't want to be paying all that high rent, blah blah blah. She's like, it'll be cheaper if you move down here. We can save money, blah blah blah. I'm like, cool. Young and dumb, not thinking about just breaking the lease, how that's gonna affect your credit, all that stuff. We just like, F it, we finna save money. So yeah, we moved in. It was never an issue. She was like one of the best roommates. Yeah, it was calm. Like we would go to work, come home. We had our drinking time in the evening times. Sometimes we'd go get food or just randomly show up at your house, as you knew. So yeah, it was just fun. Like living with her, it was just fun. We woke up on good vibes. You know what I'm saying? It was just never any issues. We would have people over here and there, but it was just always a good vibe. And we chill out with Ro. We was like two little old ladies and young bodies. So yeah, it was an amazing experience.
The introduction of my daughter is mainly to talk about how Britt and I discussed before doing this show. It's just to show you what type of person she was, how kind-hearted she was. She would do almost anything for anybody, but she didn't take any junk. I mean, she was as sweet as she was, that's as tough as she was too. So we just want to do an introduction so that as we do more of these videos to get into the I'm gonna say the grits and butter, because most folks say nuts and bolts. Grits and butter, since we Southern, of the situation at hand and my struggles to get certain things done. If you're joining this channel for the first time, you know that my daughter has passed away. It's been a year and a few months now, and the struggle has definitely been real. I just find myself sometimes just sitting in my car or sitting in my home or being out on my deck, just saying out loud so she can hear me, I miss you so much. This group of friends that we just introduced you to, I can't imagine my daughter being friends with anybody else. I mean, they're so solid, such solid friends. Like, she left me a good group to depend on. They have been by my side since she has been gone. So the first thing we're going to talk about is how, after she passed away, well, let me just tell you, as her mother, I knew she was an awesome kid. She's just awesome. All my kids, I think, are awesome. But I spent the majority of my time with her. And we will get into the funny moments as to how you can say, how can all of us be doing so well? Because one of the things that I told this whole group, and I hope that it spreads out to everywhere else, is that when you remember Christy, you have to remember her in her purest form, and that was majority silliness. You can think of any moment that will make you laugh, it'll make you cry, but then make you laugh all over again. I'm going to share, and I want each one of us to share like one of our best stories. And it was at the beginning of COVID. We had already got word.
I'm going to expand on that trip.
And I was so worried about them that I said, it ain't no way I could let my baby go out of town and get stuck over. I out of the country. I can't let her go. So, of course, all of y'all know her, and she was determined that she was going. Like, you could not ever, if she had her mind set on something, you could never talk her out of it. She was going to do it. And she would blatantly say to me, I hear you, but I'm going to do it right. So they convinced her and Yumani. They got all their stuff packed up together and everything. And She like, yeah, I flight leaving, blah blah blah. Inside, I'm just, my guts is going crazy. I just woke up one morning, but it was 2 days before they were supposed to leave, and I said, hey, y'all not going out of town. I said, I don't care what type of money y'all spent on this trip. I'm about to give y'all $1,500 a piece.
Well, you
And they were
not
like,
going.
$1,500 a piece. I said $1,500 a piece. I need to see that this flight has been canceled. Cause I think these two jokers was gonna take my money and still go on that trip.
Because you know we was, right?
Yeah, they were.
Exactly. You be pissed and out of $3,200 or how
I
much.
was like, look, we gonna go on this trip. We just not gonna tell her we going on this
Going
trip.
right.
We gonna get on this plane. We is going to London. We is going to Paris. We is going to Amsterdam. We getting on this plane. We ain't
And
get
I
on that
know
plane.
the next words out of her mouth was, "You don't know my mama." I
Mm.
said, "I'm gonna
Yeah,
need to see the
that girl
cancellation.
ain't never
I'm gonna
said
need
that.
to
She
see
was
it."
like, no, we really can't go. We can't go. I
Mm.
was like, okay. No, that was the first time I've ever heard her kind of like really give in. She was
Mm.
like, no, she for real, we can't go.
You
And
know
I
what I'm
was like, so we really can't go? She was like, no, we got to pick another place to go. Okay.
saying? She knew what
She
time it was.
listened to you
Yo,
that time. She
Yeah,
did.
called,
She
like,
listened
this
to
lady
you.
done called and acted a fool talking about we going on a trip. You done acted a fool like that. This lady is crazy. You was not my, you was this lady. This lady done acted a whole fool. About going on a trip. Girl, I'm so sick of this. Oh, we just not going nowhere. I was like, y'all not going, we just not going nowhere.
Mm, mm,
they
mm.
went and took a picture. They ended up going to Vegas, and they took
Yes,
a
Mm,
picture in front of the Eiffel Tower in Vegas
in
and
Vegas.
said, "We're in Paris."
Like the
That was
a-holes.
one of my funny stories. Oh yeah, I was so happy that they didn't go because shortly after that they did close everything down and folks were
Mm,
stuck over there. Folks were
We
mm.
stuck.
would have literally been stuck in Paris or in London for at least 2 months with no hotel to stay in because we didn't have 2 months worth of hotel booked.
look,
Right.
So yeah,
Right.
we appreciated not going after the fact, but in the moment it was like,
Or y'all would have had them extra $3,000, 1,500 each, 3,000.
look,
right.
Look, Britt, they've been staying in a hostel. That's where they would have been
look,
staying.
if they would have let us in.
Right.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
who else has a story they want to share?
Um, next.
Let's keep the pecking order. Leslie, you go next.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Uh oh. Uh oh.
Christy
Keep it
had a nickname
PG.
for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And it was this one guy. I don't know how I guess she talked to his friend and then his friend had brought a friend. And when he got there, Christy nicknamed the boy Wooden Tooth. And that's what we called him. His real name was Karen.
Yo.
What?
Should have named the man Wooden Tooth.
Wooden Tooth, because he had this one tooth in the front that was like kind of rotted out.
Oh.
Wooden Tooth.
That is
So
so
he
shit.
came to pick us up. It was me, Christy, and Allison one night.
Mm-hmm.
And we go to this to Terry's friend's house. It's like guys over there. Not peaceful. I'm always the one. What the hell you got me into? I told you we shouldn't have came over here. Like you gonna make me have to cub somebody. And I'm always thinking of shit I can go in the woods and get and stuff like that. So we get over there. We start drinking Kahlua.
Mm.
I'm not the drinker. I can have one or two drinks and I'm it. Christy is in. Her and Allison. So I'm like, hey, we need to pace ourselves. Somebody got to be the sober one in the back dark place by a railroad track. Shit. They gonna kill us and ain't nobody gonna hear because the railroad track down here. Get
Mm.
it together. So y'all, Christy starts throwing up And she ate lasagna earlier that day.
Mm.
So somehow Chris was like, let's go in the bathroom. Y'all, we shut us in the bathroom.
Mm.
And this fool was like, y'all, we had to come up with a plan to get out the bathroom. Meanwhile, these guys are in the front room and they ain't thinking about us, but these two have come up with a plan. I'm like, oh, they fine, you know. Somehow Chrissy sobers up. So how would you drink like this knowing you ate lasagna? And she was like, I was hungry. I was like, you always hungry before
You
we
always hungry.
Right.
knowing you coming to drink. And y'all, I just can see her now in that lasagna like a fish. And she was long story short, we got out.
Yay.
And I was never again, don't eat no lasagna. Nothing heavy when you know you come to drink somewhere.
That's real.
I don't know what these people did.
I think it was the Kahlua.
Yeah, it was Kahlua. And we never drank Kahlua again. And we swore by it and drink it again. And we never drank it again.
Mm-hmm. What you got, your money?
It's hard for me to ever pick any one thing. Like, I'm totally that indecisive person. From not being able to go on that trip we planned, I was really trying to convince her that we had to go. And normally Christy was always, and I'm gonna say it this way, Christy was always with the shit. She was like, okay, we gonna go. This was the first time she was like, no, Mama said we can't go. And she stood by the third time. I was like, okay, so we really not going. She was like, we got to pick somewhere else. We got to pick somewhere else. Other than that, I mean, like, I don't know. We've been on many trips. We've had a ton of experiences, but I can't say that there's any one story that would stick out more than the others. It's literally just too many to pick from.
If you don't mind, Yamani, can I just ask you, can you expound upon, there's this one picture, well, actually there are two, that I absolutely love and adore, and they come from when she visited you, and it was some sort of special time. I think you guys were running back to your apartment in New York.
In the rain.
In the rain. Oh, that was Carnival. When I lived in Brooklyn, Crown Heights. It was New York's version of Carnival. I don't think it's called Carnival. I think it's called something else.
Not. I can't remember the name of it either.
It's called something else. She literally came up there for that particular event. It's like it's like Caribbean Festival. A ton of people outside going through all of these neighborhoods. And she was like, I want to go. And she literally came up just to go. So that I know which one you're talking about, because we were literally standing in the rain. It started raining in the middle of this parade or whatever it was. And everyone started running, but I was like, we got too far to get back. So we ain't running. Like, if we run it, there's no point in us running in this rain. We might as well just enjoy this damn rain, because we got like 6 blocks. We getting wet. And then literally by the time we almost got home, the rain decided it wanted to let up.
And that's when you guys snapped that picture.
Yes. I know what picture you're talking about too.
I think some of my funniest moments with her have just involved when we, like me and Money were just talking yesterday about the random times she'll hit us up, like I'm grilling, I'm putting some jerk chicken on the grill, and she gonna cook mac and cheese. We had our favorite meal that she would cook, the jerk chicken, the mac and cheese, and greens and cornbread. And so whoever house we was going over, it just never mattered. We pulling up with a bottle, we pulling up with drink, we pulling up to have a good time. And the next morning we would always share how we got home. And so every time, of course, at the queues we be thrown, you know it, but come on, we be thrown. And so our favorite thing with her one day,
condone drinking and driving.
At this point in our lives, we do not condone drinking and driving.
Right.
I'm not saying we condoned it in the past, but we made a quite a few mistakes.
And we was blessed to get home. But one time she was on her way home, and she told us the next day that she swerved. This is when she stayed near Gresham, and she said she hit that corner from the stop sign to turn on her street, and all she could do was like she made the little nose.
Oh, I remember that.
Turning the wheel, and she hit the neighbor's mailbox.
Yes.
And kept on going. The funny thing was, she said she didn't stop because at that particular house, she felt like whoever had lived there was dead. Like she hadn't seen him in forever, so they didn't live there. So there wasn't
That
a
old
reason
lady.
to come outside and check. When I tell you that was one of the most infamous stories, and I make that noise to this day when I'm turning sometimes, or with somebody in the car with me, and I'm going fast, and I'm like with the steering wheel, but she hit that daggone mailbox. I tell you, we laughed for a minute on that phone about that daggone mailbox, and whoever lived in the house being dead, so it really didn't matter.
And
so I would say,
so they just leave a note on the mailbox. She said, "Well, the mailbox tore up, so I can't leave no note." No, I'm not going to. I'm not.
Yeah.
It was just always a party. Like we always had a good time.
The next thing I want to talk about is just her kindness. I was telling somebody the other day, it was so refreshing to find out that I called her pumpkin pie all the time. My pumpkin pie was about as sweet as I thought she was. She was always giving, but just to hear at the memorial and then even afterwards how people were telling me she was supposed to come and help me do this, or she was going to, or she did. It's nothing like somebody passing away and then you find out that you were thinking that they were one way, and then you find out that they were nowhere near that. They were like the creepiest, lowest of the low. But to find out that the person that you love and admire was actually a good person is refreshing. So to expound on some of those really good things that she contributed while she was here, she would be the first to say, "Oh, I can do that. I can help." And Britt and I have been doing this love series where we've actually been talking about sex. And we brought in a Bible verse that we will tie into this whole thing. The Bible verse is from Matthew 7:6, and it talks about taking something that is precious to you and casting them to swine. When you cast it to swine, you should be careful because they may take it and tear it apart. So in guarding your heart, as sweet and nice and kind as you should be, at certain points in your life, you have to see that it's more important to guard your heart than it is to continue to give.